Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. It's good to see you here again. Now if you're new here, do consider subscribing if you want to be seeing more videos like this in the future. Okay, so now today I'm going to be talking about how I approach a video, how things don't actually always work out, and how you kind of overcome some of those challenges. And today I want to use an example for the most recent video that I shot just yesterday, and I thought it would be a good one to show you guys like my process and kind of how things didn't work and what I did to fix that. So this is the video that we're going to be looking at today. Okay, so it's a very short video. It comprises of 3 shots, and it sort of tells you what the properties of the product is, and it ends with a sort of a hero shot of the product in the packaging. Right? So 3 shots, we're going to go through them. But this is how I would approach every shot. There's 2 things. What do I want to do? And how am I going to achieve that? So the first thing is, what do I want to do? What do I want the thing to do? And once I've determined that, it's on to, well, how do I do that? How would I create that? Okay, so this is the product. It's a sanitary pants for postpartum. You've just had a baby, and this is to help you through the recovery process, right? So what do you do with this? What would you do with something like this? So let's start with the what. What do I want this to do? Well, what I want this to do is to rotate around in its form. So I need this to be in its form as if you were wearing it, and I want it to rotate. And as it rotates, I'm going to call out the properties of this particular product. That's what I want to do. So the next thing is how am I going to do this? How am I going to achieve this? So my original idea was to get craft wire, aluminum wire, which is easily molded and bent into shape. My original idea was to get this craft wire, form it into a circular shape, place it inside the waist of the pants, and also I would do the same for this portion right here to hold that into place. And I realized straight away that this wasn't going to work, because all this is going to do is create one singular bulge just where the wire was running, and it would appear that you'd have to create a mesh network out of these for the whole pants for that particular concept to work. And I didn't even buy enough of this to make that work. So I had to figure another way of achieving this same thing. So I looked around the studio, I thought, what can I use? And then I thought about using cardboard. So I got a bit of cardboard, cut it to the same width of this, folded it up, and I, to hold the form of this part of the product. But because this is white and semi-transparent, the cardboard was brown, and so it was just showing really dark, and you can see through and see the cardboard behind it. That gave me the idea to use something light or white. What else is in my studio? I've got quite a few of these foam core boards laying about, and I thought, that'll do. So I've gone ahead and I've cut this to the same thickness of the waistband, and essentially what I did was fold it into shape, and in the end it created this shape. I just taped the ends together, and that is what formed the waist. This is a prototype, and this is the foam core board that I cut out, and then I was able to wrap the elastic waistband around it like this. And it's the same principle for this part of the product. What I actually did was make an incision, because this got multiple layers in here. I just made an incision in this part of it and fed it through. Should have fed it through this area so that I won't be able to see the foam core from neither the outside nor the inside of the product. So once I had that in place, now it was just a matter of how I'm going to rotate this, right? So what I did was built a little bridge inside here, again using foam core, and I went ahead to use glue to stick this part of it. So the idea was to have this like this and spin it. After the glue had dried on this, I realized that it was at an angle. So this was sitting at an angle, and that meant that if I were to spin this, instead of spinning on the spot or as much as it can, it would be spinning more around like this, off-centered. So that wasn't going to work. When I tried to rectify that or to bring that back to level, it just ripped it apart and tore it off. And so that was that idea. out the window. So I suppose I could have attempted to glue that back on. You know, it took about half an hour for the glue to actually go off. So that was, you know, time was going on throughout the day. So I decided to just use a different method. So from my same aluminum wire that I was going to use earlier, essentially just put this through the middle and I hooked it like this. And so now we're able to suspend the product like this and just spin it around like so. So that was the how. How would you do it? That was the how. Those were the challenges. Those were how I overcome that. That was shot 1. Now the second shot was really simple. What I wanted to do was to just show the product folded like this and then have it go down into the packaging. So essentially what I did was folded this up as neat as I could, stuck this to the back with some tape, and I just kind of hovered it in front of the camera. Okay, so now on to the final shot, and this was kind of one of my favorite shots within this video. So that was the one where we had the product disappearing down into the box and the box seemingly closing on its own. First of all, I just want to touch quickly on the packaging and the preparation work that sometimes you might have to go through in order to make this look good and stay looking good. So this box comes flat packed. It comes flat packed. You fold it up and then you put your products in. This one is upside down, but you put your products in. But what you would find now is that we have gaps. So there are gaps on here, on the sides. When you close the box up as well, you can see that there's like a slight bulge, and that would be fine if you were shipping. You just shipping your products, sending it to a customer. You know, that would be okay. But that for me is not okay for taking, you know, photographs or for videoing this. So I have to find a way of fixing that. And the way I did this, so I prepped this box before I used it, is that I put double-sided tape in between these seams right here and just closed it up like that. So it was really nice and tidy and neat. And to solve this little bow or this little bulge right here, so for that what I did was put a bit of foam core, cut it to size here, put it inside using again double-sided tape, and I just press this in. So you can see that holds the shape, and that brings this nice and level and straight for me. Okay, so that was the preparation work for the packaging, and this can come in many shapes or form depending on what it is that you're actually working on. So now for the what do I want this to do? Well, what I want this to do is to automatically close when the product goes in. So the product is going to go in and this should automatically close like this. That's the what. Second thing, as we say, is how are we going to achieve this? So automatically I'm thinking that it's going to have to be a reverse shot. So I'm going to have to shoot it in this order and then reverse that in post, so it comes like this instead. All right, so how we do that: fishing line, fishing wire, see-through thread. And what I've done is just threaded this through here, made a few knots right in the corner here where it's a little bit inconspicuous, and so I can be out of shot and pull this open and we can get that shot. Now, as you can see, by doing that, I've had to hold this down with my hands, because if I were to pull this up, then the box is going to move like this. And so to prevent that from happening, I got a bit of counterweight and just put it down to the bottom of the box like that. So when we pull this up, the box stays nice and still. All right, so that was essentially the 3 shots. So I took them over into post-processing using primarily After Effects and Premiere Pro, and I used the blue screen / green screen removal function. I used the wire removal, or the simple wire removal, to remove these from the shots. Added some keyframes to that, and voila, we had our 15-second video. So that was just an insight into how I approach my videos, guys. You know, and remember the 2 things: you're going to be thinking about what it is that you want to do and how you are going to achieve that. And just remember, guys, that things might not always work out the way you want it to the first time. You know, sometimes you have a great idea in your head, and when you come to execute it, it just doesn't go as planned, and this happens all the time. So bear that in mind, but don't be disheartened. Just keep going, keep creating. I hope that you found this useful and inspirational today. Before you go, guys, I just want you to let me know in the comments below how you would go about solving this problem. You know, a lot of this is all about problem solving, whether it is finding out what lighting that you need to use, or what lens, or even how to apply sanitary pants to some foam core. So let me know how you might have done this. There's a lot of crafty people out there, a lot of people who are very good with this sort of thing. Let me know how you would have done it, so maybe I can do this better in the future. Guys, if you found this useful, hit the like button. Do remember to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.